Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Hit that subscribe button. If you like the way that any of the topics, subjects are being broken down or discussed, please hit that like button, share, or leave a comment. Look, I'm going to get into some bite down boxing talk. I'm really, honestly, going to try to keep this really quick. Sometimes, man, you got to go back. I try not to react to what I see in some of these articles. I try to track down the source of these different interviews and hear the stuff hear the comments made in context, and where they were in the interview, so that I can piece things together before I settle in my own mind that somebody might be fill in the blank. They might be whatever. I don't, with this Terence Crawford situation, a couple of things here. He recently appeared on the Chris Mannix podcast. It might have been 2 weeks ago. But, the headline was out there, and I made mention of it. But he made some comments about the whole COVID-19 situation, the pandemic. And of course, it's easy to run out here and say dude is an idiot, or dude sounds stupid, dude sounds misinformed. This was a gotcha moment. You can run wherever you want to run with it. But I wanted to hear him talk about it. And I think what I mentioned was I contrasted Wilder's comments versus Terence Crawford's, which in the least seemed irresponsible to me. But that's his family. That's his family. But he went on to say, when he was talking through it with Chris Mannix, he went on to say he didn't believe in it. He think it's meant to make people live in fear. And he lays out a couple of things. He says, well, why are restaurants allowed to do carry out? Why are police officers out here? Why are people picking up trash? See, you have questions that are already answered. But some people, and this is where I get with the conspiracy people out here, you don't have answers. You don't answer your own question, and the information is readily available, but you throw questions out there to just it's not to make people fear, but it's to create disbelief or confusion. This is something that you haven't figured out in your own head. The rest of us can look at the different information. We know that police are essential personnel. They have to be out there. We also know that, and Chris Mannix pointed it out, some of the police in New York are, have contracted the disease. Something like trash workers, people in restaurants still provide, with a skeleton shift, providing carry out meals. Well, that's kind of a compromise. It's a limited number of employees on site, so they can still do the social distancing. They're still allowed to make some income, but the restaurant can't bring in people and seat people because of the whole social distancing thing. Trash collection, families aren't standing out at the corner, out at their driveway with the trash while the dudes pick it up, enhancing the likelihood that there's some interaction and some contact. So, like I said, man, everyday folks, man, as we get out here and listen to some of these different individuals who have a platform, who, when they speak, we all listen, or some people, listen. You really got to think for yourself, man, and use some discernment. These are questions that he may have, but it wasn't like he presented anything credible or substantive about why COVID-19 is some bullshit. So now, I mentioned that because I really got disappointed when I heard this next part about, I'll just give you his quote. Anyway, they talk about, Chris asked him about, coming back, and would you be willing to fight in front of, because people are thinking this is going to make, actually, let me clarify it. This makes me believe that there's very little hope that we will get Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. because of these the thinking that's behind this comment right here. He said, they have to pay me more. This is about him fighting behind closed doors with no crowd. They have to pay me more because fighters of my status and on my level, we get paid for the people that's coming there as well. So, if I can't get paid off of people coming, then I'm gonna have to get paid up front. He also went and said, I done took less money almost my whole career because I knew where I was trying to go and what I was trying to accomplish. He said, so we're past that. We passed that part of my career. So if he doesn't understand, like right now, the reality of the situation right now, as the sport and as promoters and TV, the broadcast people, as they come back and try to breathe life into a sport like boxing, along with the rest of the major sports, if you don't understand how the relationship between all the variables have changed, then we're real talk, we're shit out of luck when it comes to negotiating Crawford and Errol Spence. My man Derek Branch over at Sports Talk 365 just posed this question on his YouTube channel, thinking that he was optimistic that coming out of this, there would be all of these fights. There would be a major impetus between all parties to make good fights and give back to the customers and put content on TV and give us something to enjoy and get behind. But then when you hear this, like, bro, if there's no crowd, and this is, I gotta believe that this played a part in HBO saying the hell with trying to talk to some of the fighters, the hell with trying to do business with some of these cats, because it's so freaking asinine. Some of these positions are just painstakingly just crazy. Yeah, you got to be paid fairly, but obviously if there's no gate here, if we don't know what the TV channel can even do in terms of, hey, all this stuff is for a cost, okay? All of the whole revenue side of the picture can't change drastically, but then on the other side of the coin, my rate is my rate. Now, if you've made enough money, I mean, you can sit back and say, hey, I'm good. I'm gonna pass until things to business is business as usual. Somebody could very well choose to do that. But if you have titles, I mean, you have obligations, I would think, maybe the sanctioning body has to get involved. I think he did come back and say something like he would be flexible. He did. I think at the end of the interview, he did come back and say that he'd be flexible if there was no other way to do it. But the fact that you're not understanding what what the reality of the playing field is right now. Because he was like, he hasn't even talked to Top Rank. He was like, we don't have nothing to talk about. So again, to me, this is all indicative of when it comes to sitting down to negotiate the big fight that we all want, we're way farther away than we are closer to getting that one. Way farther away, unfortunately. So, like I said, for me, man, I don't sit here and get frustrated. I mean, it pisses me off, and I hear stuff like this. But when you start picking up on the mindset of some of the important people, when it comes to having desires and your interest in this sport hinging on people to do the right thing, the reasonable thing, hey, you just, like I said, you could be shit out of luck, man. I heard, lastly, before I get on off here, I heard Adrian Broner talking. He was on, this was months ago, he was on the Akin Barak show at Wilder Fury 2. And he broke down why he's deserving of $20 million to fight on DAZN. Again, his justification of that was ridiculous. It was absurd. Now, my man Ohio Runs Boxing, he gonna ignore all of that. And still, still sending me IMs about the greatness of Adrian Broner. And again, I don't hate him because of the comments that he made, but I just understand how farther away he is to not returning to boxing than he is, fighting before the end of 2020. His expectations are skewed badly. So, like I said, man, we can look at we can chop this stuff and look stuff up and look at this stuff all kind of ways, man. But the market, the market will will prevail. And if Terence Crawford, if Bud can sit out here until he gets the numbers in front of him that he wants, we'll see what time that is. And we'll see who's standing across the ring from him. Hey, my name is Wood. This is Bite Down Boxing. Don't let them count you out. Presented by the Pay Me No Mind YouTube channels or Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. One.